This is Paul Kelly from Teacher Talk with Paul and Jay with an episode of Paul Talks, how to organize your class curriculum for the humanities. All right. All teaching in the humanities comes down to two practices, rhetoric on the one hand and its opposite, dialectic. So in the high school classroom, rhetoric and dialectic as a methodology means really three activities and only three in your entire high school curriculum: reading, writing, and Socratic or Harkness discussions. So think about that. For English class, for history class, religion class, you're reading, you're writing, or you're doing discussions. These are the tools, the methodologies, fundamental tools you should be using for teaching those classes. That's it. Everything else is filler. It's fluff, it's state standard, school district game playing of one sort or another, and often it's literally game playing in various apps and online tools that we're all sort of coerced into using, but hopefully do not. So all substantive teaching comes down to these three core activities: reading, which is both rhetoric and dialectic; writing, which is both rhetoric and dialectic; formal discussions, which are themselves both rhetoric and dialectic. What's left? Grammar, vocabulary. And do you know how you teach those? Yeah, using rhetoric and dialectic, but that's in a different episode. So organize your daily curriculum accordingly to make sure that you're teaching substantive classes, to anchor the work you're doing in your classes to something that is native to, aboriginal to the humanities class that you're teaching. Try it this way. Try the 10-20-40 method, the 10-20-40 method. Or if you have 50-minute classes, do the 10-15-25 method. Try this. 10 minutes of writing, 20 minutes of discussion, 40 minutes of reading. Or switch it up. Today, that's what I did. My students were assigned last night to read chapters 1 through 6 of Animal Farm. Today, when they came in, we started with a brief 10-minute discussion. Each person in the class needed to bring one thing that they remembered or that stood out to them from last night's reading. Could be anything. Something they didn't understand, something they thought was funny, something they thought was significant, even if they weren't sure if it was. 10 minutes. Set a timer, follow the clock. Then, after that, I told them we were going to write for 20 minutes. And they did. They got out their literary journals. They got out a pen or a pencil, and they wrote for 20 minutes. They wrote 2 pages, quarter-page summaries of each chapter. Chapter 1, quarter-page summary. Break it down, and you remember from Animal Farm, those chapters break down very cleanly and simply. Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 4, that's 1 page. Chapter 5, Chapter 6, that's another half page, and then leave a little room for extra 2-page max. And they did it. All but 2 students today did that in 20 minutes. And then, since it was a sunny day, we went outside and we read. We read for 40 minutes. I told them I'd be timing them. Read for that time. We picked up chapter 7 and chapter 8. They kept their pens and pencils and annotated as they read out in the bright open sun. It was fantastic. So the next class, switch around. 40 minutes for discussion if you need it. It's time to dig into a chapter and discussion. Do that. Then 20 minutes for writing, 10 minutes for discussion, or however you need to do it. It's flexible. But again, you're anchored back to those core activities which come under rhetoric and come under dialectic. All right. So this methodology anchors you to core learning in the humanities. And it gives you a guide, a trustworthy guide to measure your own classroom activities. If it isn't reading, if it isn't discussion, if it isn't writing, then why are you doing it? I'm Paul Kelly from Teacher Talk with Paul and Jay, and this has been an episode of How to Organize Your Class for the Humanities.